Hi everyone, it's Killshot 999 Gaming. This is the Walking Dead Dead City live chat and reactions. Hello, how you guys doing? It's good to be back talking a little bit about The Walking Dead, and it's been a little while. So I wanted to approach this episode tonight from standpoint of new Walking Dead fans versus some of us that have been around for a long, long time. So I know we're going to have, I see Harold Evans in the house. I see Northside Queen. How the hell have all of you guys been? It is good to get our team back together. There is no Talking Dead, so this is really about us and breaking down some of Dead City and how this pertains to the Walking Dead universe. So hopefully you guys are ready to get into some in-depth chat. So are you guys having a good night? You having a good weekend? Let's break it down. We got a few more people going to be joining, and keep in mind, some people are going to be joining us live. Some people will be watching the playback. Okay, Negan eating cockroaches. I got to be honest, that was not in my prediction. So I'm going to start out like we always do. So those of you that are here live, those of you that are watching the playback, if you can do me a favor, from a scale of 1 to 10, give me what you thought tonight's episode was, and I will tell you what I think tonight's episode was, and we're going to break it down and decide whether or not you're right or it's closer to the general consensus of The Walking Dead. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. So I know some people are going to chime in. They're going to find us because a lot of people are looking to talk about The Walking Dead, but there's Kel. She's like, 9, I just want more. Well, you want more because Negan finally has Lucille back. We've got Julia with a 9. Marcia Cooper, good to see you, Marcia. Marcia says it is an 8. Okay. Northside Queen says it is 8. Harold Evans says it is a 9. Diana with 8.5. Deadly Dime's always going to give us like some weird integer like 9.2 or 9.3 or 8.9. So Deadly Dime's coming in 8.9. All right. I'm going to give it 8.3. I wanted it to be a little bit more, but that's not bad. I know you're probably saying, Kills, look, it's been a long time. We haven't talked about The Walking Dead. Give it a 9. Give it a 9.5. On the surface, there were some things that were very Walking Dead-esque. But there were also some things that were a little bit choppy. And I felt like we had to get to a certain point. So tonight's episode really is about laying the foundation between Manhattan and New Babylon. Negan versus Maggie. The Dama versus Pearlie. So you can definitely see the factions are breaking down. Now, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done Dead City, about a year. But if you guys remember some of the last streams that we did, we predicted very, very accurately that Negan would break away from the group, that Negan would get Lucille back, and it would be a Negan and Maggie showdown, right? I mean, you guys remember all these things we talked about. I see Unforeseen in the house. Hello, Army. I miss y'all. Haven't finished the episode yet. Well, you know what, Amanda, if you're here, it is going to be spoiler time. So hang out with us, and we'll tell you everything that you need to know. So we saw a lot of this stuff coming. But there are some really, really cool things that happened tonight that maybe we didn't see coming. So if you guys remember season 1, there was a lot. How many people remember Herschel in season 1? A lot of angst, a lot of anger, a lot of pissed off at mom. Almost like he was Stockholm syndrome, right? Like the Dama had some type of control over him. Well, that's different. That is different this season. You can see there is a connection between Herschel and Maggie. So that is graduated. The other thing that I really, really liked is I love the start of the scene. To me, when that car walked around the corner, or not walked, the car drove around the corner and the walkers were there, it really made you feel like this is Walking Dead 2025. Am I along with that concept? Because I thought The Walking Dead went into sci-fi mode. Here you've got this, this space age type of car, and you can see that they are harvesting the walkers. Certainly they want to get the methane. So the one thing about Dead City is it seems like they have a system. They're very organized. They know what they want to do. Unlike days of old in The Walking Dead when it's Aaron and Rick and they're struggling to plant, it's very high tech when you get to Manhattan. Would you guys agree with that? That they seem like the walkers aren't really to be feared, they're to be harvested. And that seems to be the difference between the new Walking Dead and the old Walking Dead. The old Walking Dead is around every corner, you're afraid a walker's going to be there. The new Walking Dead, around every corner, you want to gather one because it means electricity or technology. All right. So now that we've kind of laid the basis for The Walking Dead, what we can expect for this season. The reason why I scored it a little bit lower in the 8s and I wanted to score it in the 9s is because of the Negan arc. I thought the Negan arc was very rushed. We've got basically Negan in jail. We find out he's been in jail for a year. He's eating cockroaches, and then the next thing you know, he's sitting down and he's negotiating with the Croat and the Dama. So he basically says, go screw yourself. And they bring up Annie and Joshua. Annie is his wife, and Joshua is his son. So once those two names are mentioned, all of a sudden, we get the Croat sitting back wanting to ordain Negan as the next leader of the Manhattan group. So I see the Deacon in the house. What's up, Deacon? So although I liked where we got eventually, I didn't like that it was a little bit rushed. Does that make sense? And again, I think I can be a little bit picky with The Walking Dead because I'm a lifelong fan. So I'm not trying to bash it. I'm just trying to create dialogue around how the story progresses. So we go from eating cockroaches at 9:05 to holding Lucille and taking charge at like 9:30. So in 25 minutes, we totally changed Negan's arc from powerless to powerful. All right. So now that we got there, and again, The Walking Dead and those of us that are fans, we can be very forgiven. Because next week, we won't care that they rushed Negan's arc. This is just dialogue for week number 1. Week number 1, we're going to pick it apart a little bit because it's a premiere. We have that right. But by the time we get to 2 and 3, we won't really care. We're going to forget that they rushed it. So it kind of is where we're at right now. Now, the leaders of New Babylon basically throw Jenny and Maggie out there and say, go fight. Go prove yourself. Now, we know Maggie's going to prove herself. Now, I'm going to say this, because many of my Walking Dead fans, many of you are not Maggie fans. I'm going to say I think Lauren Cohan did an excellent job. I thought she was amazing. I like Maggie's character. I liked it before, but many of you didn't. You're like, Maggie. But now I think we have a true Maggie versus Negan standoff. Negan basically gave her props and said, she's Mama Bear. She'll bite you. She'll claw you. All due respect. Maggie went out and proved it. Maggie has worked on her relationship with Herschel. And now she's got to go back to take care of whatever that is. Is that unfinished business with Negan? Is that saving Negan? Is that unfinished business with Croat? We don't really know. And I think that's a good thing because There are some unanswered questions with The Walking Dead in episode 2, episode 3. I saw Deacon said, I want Herschel to become a villain. I don't think Herschel's going to become a villain. I think Herschel is becoming Glenn. And I really, really liked the fact that Herschel could not hit a deer with a throwing knife, and by the end of the episode, he is getting his rhythm. Now I see Herschel has a weapon of choice. He's got an agenda, and I think they give you those pictures of the Dhamma to make you think he's a little bit under the control of the Dhamma, but I don't think so. I think Herschel is the future of The Walking Dead. RJ. I mean, if we're going to talk Walking Dead 2026, 2027, Herschel and RJ could definitely be the new franchise. But like Northside Queen, I like he's becoming Glenn because I miss Glenn. So I do think that Herschel's character is going to be a lot of Glenn's personality. That is a bold prediction. Many of y'all have been watching my bold predictions now for about 7 or 8 years, right? How many people have been here since we started streaming The Walking Dead? I mean, when we predicted that Negan would kill Glenn and Abraham, when we predicted that Rick was alive and Jadis would help save him, right? Like, many of y'all have been here through all those predictions. Those are not spoilers. We funnel it down. We talk about it. We have this funneling theory where we take all these ideas and we take out what makes the most sense. So it doesn't make sense for Glenn to be or for Herschel to be a villain. It makes sense for Herschel to be the second coming of Glenn because we didn't get enough of Glenn. We need a little more of Stephen Yeun. And now I think we get the opportunity to get it. Herschel is innocent. Herschel is combative. Herschel has a chance to be the next Glenn if Glenn would have lived. And I don't think the writers are going to miss that opportunity. So, Harold Evans, 9-9. I think they're talking about a 16 episode, a season coming. I think if we put the right spin on Dead City, it can lead the franchise. Because it does have that that gangs of New York mentality. I mean, were y'all feeling a little West Side Story vibe tonight? You got Manhattan, you got New Babylon, you've got leaders, you've got who's going to... There's enough ambiguity and vagueness between what would happen if Negan and Maggie met face-to-face today. Like, I'm going to ask you guys that question because I've got my thoughts on it, but I want to know your thoughts on it. If in episode 2, Negan and Maggie are face-to-face, is it going to be a fight? Is it going to be a negotiation? Is Negan going to turn on Manhattan? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you my bold prediction, 9-9 bold predictions. We haven't done one of those in a while. All right. Give me triple nines if you want the 999 Dead City bold prediction. This is exclusive. And I might not be batting 1,000 on this, but I'm telling you, I'm batting pretty high. All right, let me think about the storyline here and how it's going to play out. All right, I got it. Herschel is meant to make you think the Dama and Manhattan has some type of control over him. Okay? They're leading us down that path. That's not true. Herschel is just trying to discover his identity. Okay? Negan, unfortunately, is going to turn full villain. And the reason is Annie and Joshua. See, the writers with Negan never wanted to be his own decision. All right? So when we saw the flashbacks of Negan and we saw his wife had cancer and all the things Negan did, it was meant to not blame Negan. So we kind of gave him a pass. So now we're kind of, okay, that was pretty cool what Negan did, but what you guys are missing is he's getting that bloodlust again. He's getting that thirst for power. Now, he's not overboard yet. He's not too far gone. But what the Croat and what the Dom are doing is they're going to put him in a situation where his wife and his kid, it's either them or Herschel and Maggie. All right. So if it were you and you were Negan and you had to choose between Annie and Maggie, who are you going to choose? You going to choose your wife or are you going to choose Maggie? If that's your only choices, the wife and kid. So you can already see what they're doing is they're forcing Negan in a villain role versus Maggie and Herschel. And again, we may not like it, but that's the ambiguity that Scott Gimple, that executive producer Jeffrey Dean Morgan, did you guys see that? Jeffrey Dean Morgan is actually executive producing with Scott Gimple. So the story of Negan is going to be very complicated. Now again, I predicted this 3 years ago when Herschel was a baby. I still think Herschel is going to kill Negan. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I think that when we get to the end of Negan's arc, it'll be because of Herschel. But I don't think that's this season. Because part of it is you don't want to kill the star of the show. I mean, when we're talking about The Walking Dead and rebooting it and getting it popular, Negan and Maggie make viewers tune in. So, eventually, Herschel will kill Negan. But I think we're talking like episode or season 4, season 5. We've got to keep Herschel away, which they're doing. It was a good idea to keep Herschel back and show him, honing his skills. He can throw a knife. So he's just kind of coming into his own. But watch Herschel develop. And eventually, I think you'll see Herschel be the one to take out Negan. But I do think that we're a couple years away from that. That's why I predicted like 3 years ago. Okay, we're going to open it up. I want to see your questions. We're 20 minutes in. I love live reactions. I love hanging out with you guys, talking about The Walking Dead. It's been a long time. And again, once we start streaming, we get a lot of people that start showing up. They're like, okay, is Kill's going to do this every week? Is it just a reaction? People will show up tomorrow. They'll show up all during the week. We got a lot of subscribers that love The Walking Dead or used to love The Walking Dead. But we want to find out if they still love the show. No, I don't think Negan's going to take out Herschel. I think Herschel has the potential. Herschel, Judith, and RJ, to me, I think have the potential to reboot The Walking Dead. That's my hope. All right, so I want to see your questions. Go ahead and type it in. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna open up for your thoughts, your questions. I'm gonna read your comments. You can either type them. I may see them. You can super chat them. I'll definitely see them because we saw Valar super chatting early on. We saw the Deacon. Good evening, Army. Great episode. We saw Unforeseen. Missing everybody. And of course, like I said, Valar, Hello 9 and an Army Kills Great Mods. Channel members. All of our sponsors. While you guys are formulating your questions, I mean, we do some cool stuff. Why many of y'all have been watching reruns of The Walking Dead, we have a social networking game called Play Dead Live. We hang out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturdays, and a lot of our old school Walking Dead fans and player on RPG, you can find us at playdeadlive.com. Go in, set up an account, or check us out some live streams. Pop in, say hello, and hang out with us. So, you've asked for bold predictions, and I'm going to ask you guys for a few questions. So, Deacon, how will the New Babylon Negan army war end? Okay, now that's a good question, but you're talking years in advance. So, currently you have a situation with one of your main guys, Pearly, is a fraud. So that already to me says that New Babylon is weak. One of their main generals is a fraud. He's lying. He killed Negan. So I think that, one, when that information gets back, it is going to disrupt New Babylon. I think that Negan has a much, much stronger control level over Manhattan. So the way I see it right now, Deacon, is that Manhattan certainly, with the methane, with the systems, with the leadership structure, looks like they're ready to take out New Babylon. So I see New Babylon getting the beat down. But remember, like Negan did the first time, he might beat them down, but you got Herschel and you got Maggie and you got Jenny. So when they seem like they're at their weakest is when they will start to recoup. And I'm going to give you, you know what, I think I'm going to give you a bold prediction. All right, if you guys want bold prediction, number 2, give me triple nines. Because I'm going to tell you about the rise of Babylon. The rise of Babylon. Kill shot, bold prediction. All right, I think that for Babylon to succeed, we will need a strong character like Aaron. I'm going to say that Aaron crosses over to the Walking Dead Dead City and helps rebuild Babylon. All right? So I think you've got too many great characters in The Walking Dead. And we can filter a couple over to start to rebuild once Negan gives them the beatdown. That's my prediction. Is Manhattan is too strong, they got too much technology, and Babylon's leader is a fraud. They break up. Maggie is at her worst. And we got to bring over some Walking Dead crossovers to get them pumped back up so we can be Team Babylon. So what it looks like they're doing with Manhattan is they're recreating the Saviors. Those guys even look like the Saviors. All right, I'm going to get to a couple more questions. And I know I'm not the only person that noticed this. But how many of y'all, when the Croat and Negan were in that car with the spikes on the headlights and those headlights were beaming, how many of y'all got a season 7 Negan standing in the headlights killing Glenn and Abraham vibe? Was I the only person that got that? Because that felt eerie. That whole car pulling up, the headlights shining, Negan getting out, it was like, okay. We're getting some season 7 vibes here. That was a little creepy. All right, we got all right. During the fight between the walkers in the ring, do you think that one of them wasn't a walker? Valar, maybe. Okay, there were a few things that looked a little interesting. So, I've never seen a situation where walkers fought walkers. So, I am open to the fact that one of them was not a walker because you just don't see them eating each other, right? So whether or not one was a walker, one wasn't, they certainly wanted us to talk about it. So they wanted us to either say, wow, this is crazy, or that was a person. It did. It did seem like Jadis's group a little bit. But I like the question, and the honest answer is, I don't know. I don't know, because we've seen these walkers continue to evolve. We saw them in Daryl's show. Now, I'm going to say this. I did not live stream Daryl Dixon. I didn't love it. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't love it. I do like this. I feel like Dead City is a lot more of The Walking Dead than the Daryl Dixon show. And if you love the Daryl Dixon show, there's no hate. Keep loving it. It's a little too far out there for me. I tried season 1 and I didn't love it. And I didn't love season 2. But I was anxiously looking forward to Dead City. All right, Harold Evans. Do I think Rick will appear at the end of the season? Harold, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Rick is where Rick is. And I'm going to either give you Aaron is my first choice, Eugene, or Father G. But I'm going to guarantee you right now, I will guarantee you, Aaron, Eugene, and Father G will be a part of the Walking Dead universe. I think the Walking Dead is coming back. I think Dead City is going to connect it. And I do think that with Fear the Walking Dead, here's the problem, okay? Fear the Walking Dead was California, Mexico, Arizona, Texas. That's a long way away from Alexandria, Virginia. New York is about a 3-hour drive. So I certainly think that the connection between Alexandria and New York is very real. So I would hold out. I just think Ross Marquand I think he's a star. And I think that my personal, well, not only the fact that Ross Marquand reached out and wished me a happy birthday. We have a video of that. But I think that Ross has the ability to lead a franchise just like Rick and just like Daryl. So I am missing me some Aaron. On a personal level, I love him. And on a professional level, I think that we need to see some more Aaron in The Walking Dead. So, my number one choice is that we will see Aaron in Dead City. And then some of the others will reboot The Walking Dead. So, I think you will see The Walking Dead back. You will see Rick and Michonne, but you will see them kind of okay. Let me give you an example. Okay, do we have any Avengers fans out there? If you're an Avengers fan, give me a 999 in chat. Because I got to use this as an example. Okay. All right, we got a few. So how many saw old ass Captain America? Right? Saw Chris Evans, and he ain't Captain America. He's old. Right? So, how many of y'all, even after you saw Tony Stark die and Captain America, how many of y'all are still Avengers fans? Right? So, the franchise lives on. So, in my mind, you've got Andrew Lincoln and you got Denai, who don't want to be in the Walking Dead grind 9 months out of a year. That's the real life problem that we have. But they're not opposed to doing cameos and episodes. They are living in the Walking Dead universe. But they don't want to do enough of the Walking Dead to be the stars and to drive the franchise. So we got them alive, which is where we want them. Now, having them show up, I mean, even Harold is proof positive of this. Harold said, "Hey, Kills, do you think Rick's going to make a comeback?" Right? We thrive on that. But we know that Rick does not want to lead the franchise. But we still want to see Rick. So I think The Walking Dead, Scott Gimple understands that. So give us a little bit of Rick, but let somebody else take the reins. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Norman Reedus, Lauren Cohan, Ross Marquand. Let Ross run the Walking Dead franchise and start to do that crossover of what's next. So what is next? What is the fear? Well, one, you got that one kid from, the world beyond that's going to come back to avenge his dad at some point. So I think you've got a potential villain in the Walking Dead universe. You've got villains in Daryl Dixon universe. And you got villains in Dead City universe. But it definitely goes beyond the Dama. She looks weak. She looks old. She looks run down. So we know that the Croat isn't in charge. We thought that the Dama was in charge. But I'm going to give you another bold prediction and say it goes beyond her. She is not running a show. So that's my thought. Is who is really running the show? Who's in charge? We got to get the baddest of the bad. Because we can have all these heroes in The Walking Dead, but as you know, if you don't have villains, you don't have a show. We're not just going to tune in week after week like Walking Dead is Love Island. I mean, we're getting tired of that. We have to form villains, embrace villains in order to develop our heroes. So I've given you guys quite a lot. Like a lot of bold predictions tonight. So I just want to say it's good to be back. It's good to be hanging out with y'all. It's good to be talking about the Walking Dead franchise and Dead City. And I'm looking forward to next week's episode. And let's all get together and do this again. Who's available next Sunday night? Give me 999s. We will answer more questions. Hang out, and I'll give you more bold predictions because when we see it, we can analyze it, we can discuss it, and we can break it down. And now that we got a premiere, we know the path of how this is going to go. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night. It is great to do live reactions. Love the 999 Army. Great to see all of you guys. Hopefully you guys are alive and well and in good health. We're still doing awesome with 999 Gaming, Play Dead Live, but love to see all of y'all involved in the channel. Thank you so much for all you do, and we will see you all next Sunday night, or we'll see you for a little Play Dead Live. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.